Jody, obviously the result's not what you wanted to, but when you look back at that game, are you impressed with the improvements that this team has made to this point?
Yeah, I was very, very impressed. We've improved a lot. Offense, specifically our offensive line, I think is playing has gotten better every week. Coach Ross did an amazing job with them. We had some explosive plays, explosive runs. And like I told our team, when you play a really good team like North Dakota, they're not going to beat themselves, and they didn't. And we did some things to beat ourselves when, it felt like we were going toe-to-toe with them and even up. And whether it's running into the kicker or, fielding a punt we shouldn't have fielded and then fumbling it or giving up some big plays on when we're in man coverage. And, so we'll get those things corrected. And it's on us as coaches. We got to put the players in positions to make plays. And we put some the other night that we probably thought they could make the plays and they didn't. So we got to either adjust some schemes or, adjust some people doing them. But the guys are working hard. We'll get better and learn from these mistakes.
Q just in here, and he seemed to make us feel like the energy of the team is still extremely high. Do you feel that from the guys and the fact that they are excited about the direction that this program is going and the fact that you might be able to get some of these teams you're going to play here in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I believe we a lot of confidence. We felt like we were going, of course the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, but, statistically I think we were, evenly matched in some areas. I think guys felt like, was North Dakota bigger than us, and just like South Dakota will be as well. But I do think we're playing a little more confident. Got to keep building off that. We got a lot of guys banged up and beat, bruised and battered, but I think the spirits are high. Like I said, I love the young men we have on this team. They've fought, competed every opportunity we've given them or chance to compete. They have, and I think that'll continue to show. We got a long season, a lot of football games left to play, and I think our best football is still in front of us.
What's it been from the time you got here, when you first got your offense on the field? They were struggling in the spring, kind of was struggling during the summer. Well, you put 35 points on a pretty good team today. You had almost 500 yards offense. I think you're getting where you want to go here.
Yes, and we've got some guys banged up. We on the offensive line, and then even some receivers banged up that didn't play the other night. But it is impressive. I got to give credit to our coaches. Constantly coaching up the guys, getting better. I think we've also starting to feel what guys can do in our scheme. Who the catchers are, who the runners are, who's our best 5 combination blocking on offensive line. And, like you said, it was good to get some confidence the other night. We got plenty of stuff we've got to clean up and all that, but it was nice to get some confidence. We had a couple turnovers in the second half, but it was nice to finish off the drive at the end of the ball game there. But I really like our run game. I think it's improving. Our passing game definitely is improving a lot. And we're going to have plenty of games where we're going to need the best of both to finish out the season.
It's got to feel nice that you're putting some tape on now for South Dakota, other teams to look at, when you're burning some of these teams now with big plays.
Yes, we'd like to have even in more big plays. We were fortunate to get some the other night. And, I think once football, is a lot like life sometimes. The momentum, positive or momentum negative, can take you back places. Like we had a lot of positive momentum from hitting some big plays. And in today's football, I think we want to make people defend, horizontally and vertically the whole field. And I think you've got to stress that to let people know, hey, we'll throw it down the field and we'll also try to, make you play the perimeters, but we can also run it in between the tackles and quarterback running was very impressive the other night. But like I said, I hope, at the end of the day, you hope you make a lot more explosive plays than the opponent. And unfortunately, the other night, they may have got a few more than us. But it's something definitely we're going to continue to grow on, and confidence helps with a lot of that.
You guys, in the run game, you've been very successful in running by committee. A couple guys even last week have kind of busted out some big runs. I was wondering if you're kind of narrowing it down to just a couple.
Yeah, we'll probably have to narrow it down even more this week because we got a couple guys banged up. Jordan Washington, I just saw on tape, he got banged up a little bit. So, still probably a game time decision on him right now. But we've got, a lot of good backs, like I said, that can go in there and tote the ball. But, it all starts with up front, the offensive line. And fortunately, they've been able to make some holes. Now, this week against South Dakota, we'll probably face, in my opinion, one of the top defenses in the country. They can line up and play base. They can blitz you. They can do about anything they want to you. And they do a great job of, I'd say, when you talk about guys that can run and hit, they can run and they can hit, and they knock a lot of people backwards. They're solid, all three levels on the defensive line, solid linebacker and solid in the secondary. So we're going to have to be very, very creative and on top of our game to execute at the highest level this week.
At this point in the year, where do you feel like is the biggest area that this team needs to improve on to where you are finding yourselves in the game, not just early in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter where, okay, guys, we're still in this?
I think it all starts with guys believing, and the main thing we've got to do is when something not so good happens, we got to go to the next play and not let it snowball. Which, like the other night, we're sitting there, we make a big play, they make a big play, we're going back and forth, and then we have a really tough, disastrous almost play, and then instead of going to the next play, we kind of, the next series we had one, the next series. So, I think it comes with, when something bad happens and good play, I try to always preach good play, next play, bad play, next play. And, good game, we still got to go to the next game. But, I think just trying to get guys to focus in on that. And like I said, it happens in basketball, football, baseball, every time momentum, and sometimes, you look to your best playmakers to step up and no more. I'm going to make a third down stop, or I'm going to make a third down catch or something, to keep the chains moving to stop a drive. But, we just got to keep, hopefully, and it's on us as coaches too to put our guys in the best situation possible to make certain plays. But all three areas we've done had bits and pieces. Of course, Mississippi Valley State was one of the games I felt like we did all three phases. But of course, the three games we've lost, I don't think we've done that, and then we got to keep challenging. Offense, defense, special teams, and playing smart situational football, because it's all connected together, and trying to make guys understand the situations, the hidden yardage in special teams, and the difference in getting a roughing the kicker instead of a 60 probably yard return. So now they got a first down, they go down and score instead of us having the ball and scored in position. Stuff like that. We've got to clean up.
I was wondering, with an improving O-line, South Dakota such a strong defense, I was wondering if you were going to implement any adaptations and new blocking schemes, or just kind of overall in the offensive play.
Yeah, we're the thing I'd love for their defense line, it'd be a good time for some of them to sit out or rest a game, but no, but they're very talented. Anytime I think you face teams that they're a little bit probably bigger and stronger, sometimes you got to, whether you think you can do it with, tempo or a new type of run scheme or some type of different protection, but you also got to make sure it's always a fine line that you can execute it. But it is definitely, and that's what we'll try to practice these next couple of days is, what do we do well that we think we can execute against what South Dakota State does well, and how we feel that they'll play us, and I think sometimes, especially the watching North Dakota and South Dakota, they're so solid in all three phases, and they've credit to their coaching staff. Coach Nielsen does a great job there. He's on his 9th year, and they've kind of got a culture and program and a style of play they believe in playing, and they've got good players that they've recruited, developed, and done an amazing job with. And, sometimes it's probably a little style of play that says, hey, we'll make every team adjust to us. And I don't blame them. And so we got to prepare like, we think they're going to show what they've shown on film and get good at trying to find a way to block them up. But we definitely need probably every bit of luck and ball bouncing our way. We surely would be nice this week, but we'll see. And we'll probably have to make some adjustments with some of the injuries we've had as well. And we got, a lot of guys banged up. And as people saw, if you watch the tape, we had a couple guys limping off. But, I know they'll do everything they can. Our training staff's working hard to get a lot of them back to play.
Jody, I know the defense took some criticism,
Yeah.
but they did get them off the field twice.
Yeah.
For bad things to happen.
Yeah.
They were trying to do their job there.
Yeah.
Are you encouraged with that?
Yeah, and people look at the scoreboard and they see, 72 points, and that's not all on the defense. We had a block punt, we had a pick six, and we had another interception down deep in the territory. And then another time we got off the field and had a roughing the kicker. So, not all that is definitely not on our defense. And we played some good defense at times. Give North Dakota credit. They executed at a high level. But I also think Coach Smith does a great job and on the defense and our whole defensive staff. And I definitely think, we'll probably look at some different ways we played some certain things, and some guys physically, probably didn't hold up as good as we were hoping they could. And sometimes in coverage as well. We had to put some guys in some situations the way we tried to play their bigger personnel, and they either got beat or didn't make a play. So we got to not put them in those situations or find some other guys to put in those situations. So we're definitely going to explore some of that this week. But, we're constantly always going to try to get bigger, faster, stronger. And North Dakota State had a huge offensive line. And I think the group we're playing this week, they're all over 300 pounds again too, might even be bigger. So we're definitely going to have to look at some different things schematically to give us the best chance, and what personnel we're going to have available to do that. But it all comes, we missed some tackles that we feel like we should have made, and we'll get that cleaned up. But give North Dakota credit, and we're going to have definitely another battle this week.